Today is the day I'm ready to sow the seeds for my Sunn hemp cover crop. The gardens are ready. I've removed all of the crops out of the garden. I have added some fresh soil to top it off because the soil level was too low. And now we're ready to sow the seeds, but this is a bit of a process because I'm choosing to add a soil inoculant to the seeds before I sow them. Now, this product is called Exceed, and it's a specific strain of bacteria called rhizobia that you mix with a little bit of water and you mix with the Sunn hemp seeds to coat them before you sow the seeds. And what this strain of bacteria is going to do is it binds to the roots of the plant and it helps fix atmospheric nitrogen into the soil so it'll be ready for your plants in the fall to consume. Now, this is really an optional step. I'm choosing to do it because I am trying to fix the nitrogen in the soil. I want to get the most out of my cover crop. But there are specific instructions on the package. Let me read them. So, this is a specific strain. So I did make sure to get the one that would work for Sunn hemp. There's different varieties that might work for like a pole bean or something like that, or a cowpea. I chose the right one that would work for Sunn hemp. Now it says the optimum method for applying Exceed is by using the slurry method. So dampen the seed with a non-chlorinated clean, cool water at a rate of 8.5 ounces of water per 50 pounds of seed. And the method should be done in a container like this. Like, we're going to use this bowl to mix it up. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the entire 1 pound packet of seed for the purpose of making the math easier. First, we're going to start by putting about, it's like 4.8 grams if you try to convert. It's like 8.5 ounces per 50 pounds. If I bring that down to what it is for 1 pound of seed, we're looking at about 4.8 grams of water. I'm trying to work within the, measuring, the parameters that my scale will actually weigh. Just a little bit of water, we're just dampening it. So it says 5, I think I'm good with that. 5 grams is close enough to 4.8. We're just coating the seed is all we're doing. And then add the appropriate amount of inoculant, 2.5 ounces per 50 pounds of seed. I need to do that math on the calculator on my phone. Give me a second. Okay, so if I do the math down to 1 pound of seed, we need about 1.5 grams of the inoculant. I don't think my scale is going to get me down to that level of fidelity, so I'm just going to maybe shoot for like 2 grams. All right, 2 grams of inoculant. This was like the smallest package I could buy reasonably. There was a smaller one on Amazon, but it ended up costing more because of shipping. It was from some smaller seller. So I just went with the big one, even though there's no way I can use that whole package in my backyard garden. And we'll take this whole 50-pound seed packet and dump it in here, and we're going to mix it all together. Brought a spoon. Just trying to coat, what we're doing is coating the seed with the inoculant. And then we let it dry a little bit, just a few minutes, it's not very wet. And then we'll sow the seeds into the garden. Now, what I'm hoping to be able to show you is like a couple weeks into growing the cover crop, I would really love to be able to pull up a plant, including the roots, and see those nitrogen fixing nodules so I can show them to you. I've tried to do that before in the past, and it was when I didn't use an inoculant, and I didn't even see any nodules. So I'm really hoping to see better results with actually visible nitrogen fixing nodules by doing this. That will help me share how we can differentiate between a nitrogen fixing nodule on a root and a root knot nematode gall. That's something that people get mixed up a lot, and I've never been able to capture it. Trying to capture it during this process. So here's what it looks like. I mixed it up. You can see, if you look closely, you can see there's just like a little bit of black powder looking stuff on the seeds. That, I believe, is exactly what we're looking for. And I think I'm ready to let it sit for a few minutes and dry. I'm going to turn the camera off for a little bit while that dries. And then once a few minutes have passed, I'll turn it back on and we'll get to sowing our seeds out in the garden. Okay, it seems dry. I am going to go ahead and distribute it into 3 bowls because I have a long raised bed here, a long raised bed there, and a tree ring right there where I'm planning to sow these seeds. And I'm just dividing it into the bowls so that I can avoid accidentally over sowing one and then not having enough for the other raised bed. So I'll just do something like, maybe this small bowl is for the tree ring, the smallest space. I'll do like maybe a 1/4 pound. Which would be 4 ounces. And then, yeah, so that's for the tree ring. And then I've got 12, I'll do 6 ounces in each bowl. Okay, now I feel good. I'm not gonna accidentally dump the whole bowl in one raised bed. I'm just gonna take it, and my first approach is just gonna be kind of sprinkling it, and then I'll come back and kind of spread it with my hands and make it a little more evenly distributed. Or maybe I'll go like this. Yeah, that seems to be a pretty good distribution. Sure hope all these birds don't just eat them. We'll see. I'm pretty excited about this. I've never done a cover crop. I feel like I've only seen like a handful of videos online where it seems like anyone ever sows a cover crop in a raised bed. So I just thought I would create it. I've got the smaller bowl that's meant for the tree ring right here. Same process. I think it might help my palm tree as well. We'll see. And my approach, if I notice that it's pretty dense in one area and pretty sparse in another for some reason, like I'm not spreading evenly or like water washes some seeds away or something, I think I'll just be able to recover by, you know, taking that green biomass from the plant whenever I'm chopping it, and I can spread it a little more evenly. I can even spread it into other areas. Now this is the long raised bed I'm gonna do, the other bowl. These 2 raised beds behind me, they're brand new. I just filled them up with brand new soil. So I'm not gonna worry about doing a cover crop on them. We've got to remember that part of the reason I'm doing the cover crop is to fight against root knot nematodes, and So I'm putting it in the raised beds where I know I have an issue with that. I'd love to know if you guys have ever done a cover crop and what your choice was, and also what season you did it in. I'm well aware that mustards would have been probably a better choice for, you know, killing off the root knot nematodes, but it's winter and mustards are a cool weather crop, and I'm very concerned that I would not get enough green biomass off the plant before the plant just bolts. So I think Sunn hemp is going to be a better choice. It's meant to grow very fast. It's meant to produce a lot of plant biomass, perfect for cover cropping. That's why it's one of the most common cover crop choices here in Florida. Sunn hemp is. It does seem like, now I might be wrong, but it seems like on Facebook groups, it just seems like so common for people to solarize their soil against root knot nematodes, and it seems like a lower percentage of people are willing to do a cover crop. And I think that's interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts about why you think that might be, or if you've noticed the same thing. Maybe it's just more popular, or like it's more easy to find that as a solution. I'm going to do a close-up to show you what the seeds look like on top of the soil, and kind of so you can get an idea of how dense it's planted. And I think I'm just going to turn on the drip irrigation system. We're probably going to have some afternoon storms that also water it in. And aside from that, my next step is going to be documenting the growth over the next few weeks. During the growth, I want to pull up at least one plant and check to see if I can find some nitrogen fixing nodules on the roots. And then I also want to be sure to document terminating the cover crop and laying it down on the soil, and also showing footage of what that crop looks like when it's breaking down on top of the soil over the course of a couple weeks. Now it's July 7th, I think, Monday, July 7th. No, July 6th. Right now it's Monday, July 6th. And I really wanted to get my tomatoes and peppers probably in August or September, but I'm planting too close to August to be able to do August. So I'm gonna try to do September. And my thought is, as long as I have what I think is enough green biomass, I'm going to go ahead and terminate the cover crop probably the first week, if not the first day of September, and let it sit for about 3 weeks, and plant my tomatoes in the garden the third week of September. So the soil will rest with that cover crop chopped up for about 3 weeks. I would have preferred maybe to have a little bit more time. I think I was in my head when I was thinking about this timing, I was targeting an October planting, but October planting makes sense for my cool season crops like the cabbages and you know, any Brussels sprouts or broccolis I might want to do, or onions. But the tomatoes and peppers, I really would prefer to get them in August or September. So I'm gonna figure that out along the way, and I'll share with you guys how it goes. And maybe we'll learn a lot from this experience. Maybe next year I'll do it exactly the same way, or maybe next year I'll choose to start the cover crop in June instead. So hit that subscribe button and follow along and see my journey with cover cropping this summer.